All right, so the tool that we're going to be using to automate a lot of this is Jenkins. There's quite a few other products out there that do a lot of this automation, but I believe Jenkins is pretty much the kind of standard out there for automating builds and deployments and whatnot. Jenkins is just a Java web application that you just need a JDK or a JVM to run this. And then you can then visit the web application and then create an account and start automating builds. There's a Jenkins Documentation link here. I invite you to visit the documentation and become familiar with what's there. You can download a version of Jenkins to your file. It's just one single file. It's a WAR file, and you can run it locally just by saying Java jar and then the WAR file, and then you can give it what port you want to run it. So if you want to play around with it locally, just yourself, you can. It's very easy. So basically what Jenkins is that it allows you to do what you normally do at a command line, right? To bring your source code all the way to deployment, right? Running your Maven clean installs, running your tests, checking in, checking out, and merging, and doing all these things that you would normally do at the command line. You could just as easy copy, all those commands, right? And create Jenkins pipelines and say, hey, this is what I want you to do every single time that I commit something, right? Do a Maven clean install, run all the tests, let me know if something's wrong, notify me, and if everything's okay, go ahead and check in and merge it into master, and go ahead and package it and deploy it into Heroku, right? So everything that you would do for the command line, all those operating system commands, you can now create these steps, right, and paste them inside of Jenkins pipelines. So pipelines are kind of like a collection of steps or collection of commands that execute sequentially. It's a state machine. It's a set of steps that execute one after another that are logically grouped together, right? So there's some logical things that happen. You first check out everything from GitHub. Then you do a Maven clean install, then you package it, and then you deploy it. Right? So there's a checkout, there's a compiling step, there's a test step, there's a build step, there's a deployment step. So these logical steps, right, is what makes up referred to as a pipeline, and can either live inside of a pipeline you create inside of Jenkins, or it can be written as a text file, with a specific name called Jenkins file. It can be part of your source code inside of your repository, right? And whenever you check in and this file is checked out, the Jenkins can run the pipeline described in this Jenkins file. Here, let's create a really simple hello world pipeline. If you have Jenkins up and running, you can create a new item, give it a name, hello world, and say that this is a pipeline that we're creating, a brand new pipeline, and then save. This creates a new pipeline called hello world, and then navigates to a screen where you can configure the pipeline, right? And in the pipeline, it'll give you a text area where you can type the actual operating system command line that you want to execute. And what Jenkins will do when you run this pipeline, it will literally take your commands, and will execute them at the terminal, right, at the console of the remote machine, right? And then it'll report what the command line output, the console return. So here we're creating a simple pipeline. We're saying it's an echo hello world. We paste that in there. Once we save that, we can then run it. We can say build now the pipeline. What the pipeline will do is that we'll read your script. Right now it's just echo hello world, and it'll execute it literally on the remote operating system, or maybe if you run it locally, it'll be in your local operating system. and then it'll report on the web page. It'll report what the console outputted, and notice that indeed, it executed the echo, and here it is, the hello world, as it did in the it was spit out in the console. It'll also keep track of every single time you executed this pipeline. We'll create a history. It will enumerate the history of all the times that this pipeline has executed. 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on and so forth. You can click on it on any one build, and you can look at what was the results of any one of these builds, right? And it will paint it in different colors. Red if it failed, or blue if it's successful, or green and whatnot. And you can look at the console, what happened, right? And it'll report it. I wasn't able to check it out. The test failed, or whatever. Right? It can report what happened.